Cool. Let's say hello and good luck to Yes One. And would you like to play first? Yes, we would in this very first round. Cool. We have a keep, 2-drop and a 3-drop. Do you want to mull to 6? No, schmink you. Oh, nice. There's that Godless Shrine I passed. Looks like the opponent who ended up picking it up also was able to play it. It's always pretty sweet. I don't think it entirely matters here what we play, so. Got our Guild Mage on board. See if my opponent has a 2-drop as well. Basilica Screecher, that's what I want to see because I can bash in for 5 this turn. And hey, we might even get value on this Gatekeeper if we hold on to it long enough. For now, we're not doing that. Just gonna go ahead and do this guy. And bash on in. If I draw the Guildgate next turn, I will wait a turn to play the Gatekeepers. Otherwise, I will not. I'd rather just keep putting pressure on my opponent, and we're fine. Alright. So we'll play this dude. We're still going to be attacking with the Guild Mage. If my opponent wants to block, I'll go ahead and pump it once just to get it off the board. I'm fine with that. I presume my opponent will just take the damage, but who knows. No, my opponent wants to make me use my mana there. Alright. Gives me an extra chance to draw one of my other Guild Gates. I think I was right for my opponent if my opponent knows that that's just not an important card. Sadly, the Intimidate factor isn't going to work a whole lot, but getting Gatekeepers and pumping it and attacking could be perfectly fine. Guildgate? No. So, I can attack it with Dreadmangler, pump it if my opponent wants to sacrifice the Basilica Screecher in any way. Then I have a 2-for-1, plus I have Scavenge later on, and I'm kind of cool with that also. Or I could just start making creature tokens. But no, I think we just keep the pressure up. Yeah. My opponent went to 2-for-1 against a Dreadmangler, which isn't even that great, because then you can just do the Scavenge later. So if my opponent wants to clear out a board, then I am A-okay with that. And yeah, my opponent doesn't want to do that, which is fine by me. We're going to just keep putting pressure on. Not gain 7 life, but whatevs. Now we're a little flooded out, but luckily we have things to do with our mana, thanks to our Karazda Guild Mage. So that's cool. Boros Mastiff, okay. So looks like my opponent was just like stuck on red. That's very interesting. So this is where my deck's going to have a weakness, is my opponent's able to put together a pretty strong package. This isn't by any means awesome, but definitely one way in which my opponent can win is just by pinging me away, right? Because I don't have a way to deal with this Corpse Blockade directly at my one lunch party. So that'll be good with the Rust Scarab. Now if I were to attack, I can still pump my Dreg Mangler twice. And I'm actually okay with my turn if that's how I kill the Corpse Blockade. And I don't think my opponent is going to be doing that kind of block. Yeah. Play our Scarab here. And now our Guild Mage is the most important thing in our deck. Sadly, my opponent has the colors for removal, so I'm sure the first removal to come on board is going to take it out. And we have Pontiff of Blight to deal with here, which does mean I want to be playing quickly and as aggressively as possible, because this Extort's going to get a little bonkers. Mind you, my opponent is out of cards in hand, but that doesn't matter, having 4 creatures on board here. Definitely a good rip. Do I want to attack in with it, or do I just want to keep my Corrosive Guild Mage up? Let me think. So if I attack with the Gatekeepers, my opponent has to sacrifice something in order to kill it, either double blocking or giving a Corpse Blockade, Death Touch. Rust Scarab can be blocked successfully without a pump, but then I kill Deviant Glee, which is kind of helpful. Same with Dreg Mangler, I can attack in, but it's still alive. But I think having the double pump is what is the most important thing here. And if my opponent does do some kind of sacrifice block, then I will just sacrifice and make a bunch of tokens. So we are bashing in with everything. And then hopefully we'll be able to win this race in this regard, because then I can just start doing Intimidate on my opponent. So that goes down. Yes, I want to use that ability. I don't need to pump Pontiff, or I don't need to pump the Dreg Mangler for Pontiff of any reason. This will kill Corpse Blockade no matter what, and my opponent has to sacrifice something in order for Corpse Blockade to trade with Rust Scarab, which I am cool with. So because that just gets rid of that many more Extort triggers, and that is great by me. Shoot, I wanted to make Saproling tokens at that point. I've already made the mistake, so at this point I think we just play another Dreg Mangler. That was a bummer. I really meant to do Saprolines at that on that point in the game. Okay. So my opponent's going to try to keep going with Extort here. Man, if I had all those Saprolines, life would be much better. Alright, so we're going to keep on bashing in with everyone, double blocks have to happen in order for Dreg Manglers to go down. Same with Cerulean Gatekeepers. But again, with this pumping ability, we're in a pretty good shape. We can even kill 2 dudes. Man, I wish I had the Saprolines. Ugh. Oh well, such are my mistakes. So my opponent's just gonna do this. I'm gonna go ahead and pump once. For that. Put my opponent down. Do I care about armor transport? No. I do not. I think I want to hang on to it in case there's like a Merciless Eviction or something that starts clearing my board. I want armor transport back, and I want to be able to keep up the token maker right now. Because I think what I'll end up doing is maybe making Cerulean Gatekeepers a 4 tokens instead. Because yeah, my opponent's gonna go up to 9 here. Do I want 4 tokens? If I bash in then with everyone... My opponent has blocks, but again, it just does a bunch of double blocks, and I'm cool with that because I have my backup dude. So let's continue the assault, and then hopefully Wasteland Viper will like get rid of Pontiff or something. Okay, that's true. Now, I want to do 1, 2, 3 to keep Cerulean Gatekeepers alive. And I might as well just kill both of them, right? Yeah. To do that. And then we'll also do this to give Death Touch to my Dreg Mangler. There we go. Alright. So, yeah, Karaz did Guild Mage. Obviously a good explanation of how awesome that Guild Mage is. We would not have won that game had my opponent had a removal spell for Guild Mage, which in those colors, I'm sure my opponent is playing. Let's see. Pontiff is going to be rough, and my opponent is looking to gum up the board, like on the ground and stuff. But hopefully we'll still be able to power through some sweetness. The artifact or enchantment, I don't care that much about that one enchantment, the Deviant Glee. We got lucky with Thruskara being on board there. I don't think Thrill Parasite is going to do anything. Same with Shadow Slice. We don't have a lot of evasion. Really, I'm only considering bringing in the Guardian the Gateless package to have a flyer on board. And I'm looking to think, to do that, do I have something strong I want to remove? I actually think Maze Behemoth will do pretty well here with my different trampoline guys. And Death's Presence actually could get there if my opponent's looking to go kind of late game as well. Our Death's Presence could actually do huge things for us. Remember, Transport, not amazing. Though if we end up scavenging ever, it'll do some good things. But there's just a lot that blanks it. Yeah, I think what we do, despite this trample being fine, I think we bring in our Prophetic Prison and our Guardian, and we try to get some air raids going. Because I think this will be a lot stronger. And then we just have our Prophetic Prism and our one Guild Gate. I will go ahead and add an extra plains, since we just had so many forests and swamps. So what do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 forests. 9, 10 swamps. You have that extra swamp for Necropolis region, but having the Prophetic Prism and the Clue Stones mean we don't really need it, so we'll pull out that swamp and submit this way. Alrighty. 3 minutes behind on time. Let's try to catch that up. So unfortunately we have a mulligan here. We are on the chooses to play first. Yeah, so we're on the draw. But yeah, we're going to have to mulligan 6. This is a little bit better. We'll at least have Prophetic Prison to get into something else. It will allow us to play Necropolis region when we get there. Hopefully we just draw a land to get Varals out early. Not a great hand, but definitely not one I want to throw away. The power level's there. We just don't have, you know, the consistent curve. Hey, there's something. Get our swamp down early. Turn 2 Prophetic Prism into turn 3 Varals, and then hopefully some more action shortly thereafter. There's a Grim Roustabout. I could try to get... Yeah, I don't even need the Prophetic Prism yet. So we'll just try to go a little on the aggressive side, get a few points of damage in. This will probably just be sacrificed to regenerate Varals, honestly, in the long run. Let's see how my opponent's deck does racing. If I didn't have Varals, the sack outlet, I probably wouldn't do this because I assume Corpse Blockade and other spells are going to be coming down sooner and doing more work. But we're not regenerating our Roustabout for the next few turns anyway. Might just be a launch party dude after a few points of damage are in. Alrighty. I could do Gatekeeper Vine here so that I'm guaranteed 4 next turn. Or I could just play the Prophetic Prism first, see what I draw. But I think it's right just to go ahead and play Varals out. There's no counterspell that's going to happen. And we just want to put pressure on my opponent for the moment. And maybe we'll just naturally you know, draw into some lands. If we draw a land next turn, we can play Prophetic Prism and Gatekeeper Vine, or we just play Gatekeeper Vine, maybe in the 2 draws we have, get it out. So we'll see how that goes. Okay. So definitely attacking with Grim Roustabout. Let's do that. So my opponent's stuck on 3 lands, which is good for me. Play Prophetic Prism. Draw a card. Land? Yeah! Got pretty lucky there. Play our Gatekeeper Vine, thin out our deck, and then we're definitely hanging on to this launch party. We're gonna get a Golgari Guildgate, of course. and pass the turn. And we have some nice sacrifice outlets for Virals to regenerate, which means we might just attack in with him to sacrifice the Gate Creeper Vine and then to start scavenging the Gate Creeper Vine on. Is it? I don't even remember how scavenge works. Is it power or toughness? I think it's power. Dang it. I gotta look that up. Sahichi Taiga. Okay. Honestly, this is probably going to be an Acropolis Regent win, but... that halts our current offensive. Karazda Gorgon, very nice. Which does mean I kind of want to hang on to the Grim Roustabout now. So maybe what we do is just play the Golgari Key Rune. I forget what Scavenge is. I'm pretty sure it's power, which means Gatekeeper Vine is nothing, so we're probably just going to want a Launch Party. If I had more removal, I would use Launch Party now against the Ricci Tiger so I can start bashing in. However, I don't think I have that. So instead, we just go like this. Play Golgari Key Rune, guarantees us the Necropolis region next turn, and then we should be in some pretty sweet shape as we're setting up our board against our opponent, who's a little bit mana screwed. Definitely no black, which is an issue. Oh, there's the black. So now my opponent can start doing some things, but we're going to be doing things like Necropolis regioning, so. Ogre Jailbreaker with Extort. Yep. It is a good card. So we have 7. Yeah, I think we just slammed the Necropolis Regent. Removal gets it. We didn't see any last game, but that doesn't mean anything. And just having both of these guys out makes my opponent think really hard about game plans. But my opponent has 5 cards in hand, is pulling out of not having the black mana source from earlier. So there are options to be had. Higher Torture. Okay, so the race can get pretty tricky here. That's pretty expensive. And the Flyer's going to get the work done here. So here I think we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think we attack in with Golgari Key Rune as well as the Necropolis Regent. Yeah, that's fine. Do I attack with anything else? Because anything that does damage just gets big thanks to Necropolis Regent. So 1, 2. Attacking with Virals. Anything that blocks it, I can just regenerate Virals. Thanks to, you know, Grim Roustabout or Gate Creeper. Probably just sacrifice the Gate Creeper to regenerate it. Sounds about right. There's no point to do Grim Roustabout. Nah. Let's attack in with the Key Rune since we don't need the mana. And that'll trade with something just to keep pressure off of me. Probably Higher Torture. Aerial Maneuver. Ooh. So probably going to block the Necropolis Regent. But before that happens, we're going to Launch Party. And that is a blowout. Boom! Bada bing! So it's going to be hard for my opponent to come back from, for sure. That guy gets huge and is lethal next turn. My opponent has to deal with it in some way. Yeah. So our opponent said like, that was brutal. That's what happens with Necropolis Regent, alas. See you in round 2.